Hello everybody, Jake here from FMSCOUT, and in today's video we're going to be looking at some potential teams for you guys to manage in FM21. With FM21 just around the corner, I know myself and a lot of you guys will be thinking about who you're going to manage, and if you haven't fully decided yet, then hopefully this video and the coming videos around this similar topic will help give you some ideas. We've already had a video on the channel around this similar thing about teams based in England. This one is going to branch out now though, no more English teams. We're going to be talking about teams from all over the world, which will all hopefully have their own unique challenges and their own unique history, so that you guys can build your own stories with these teams. Before we start though, I'd like to ask you guys to comment down below who you're thinking about managing in FM21 and your reasons for doing so. So without further ado, let's get into the first team as we jet off to Holland. So our plane has landed in Rotterdam, and the first team we're going to be looking at is Sparta. Now I'd just quickly like to preface this by saying that obviously FM21 isn't out yet, so we're currently seeing everything within FM20. That might mean things such as league positions and facilities are all subject to change, but are generally correct, and I'll try and correct it if it's not. So you might think Sparta are just another Dutch team, but in reality they were recently promoted to the Eredivisie, the top division in Holland, in 2018. Now they're not just any team though. Sparta have won the Eredivisie 6 times way back when, won the Dutch Cup, all of that good stuff. You can see here their cabinet is full of trophies all throughout the early 1900s. They did also win stuff in the 50s and 60s, but nothing too recently, other than the second division win in 2016. Sparta have been known for producing some of the best Dutch young talent, such as Memphis Depay, Kevin Strootman, Gino Wijnaldum to name a few. And they have one of the best youth facilities in Holland. If we look, they do have good youth facilities, good academy coaching and good youth recruitment. So I think this save will definitely be focused on bringing through that youth talent into your team, nurturing them, and then hopefully eventually toppling Ajax, PSV, Feyenoord, the big boys, at the top of the Eredivisie to become the best team in Holland, and then maybe even challenge on a Champions League front. Now, you can see they don't have the biggest stadium, and other than their youth facilities, they haven't got that much going for them, so it's going to be up to you to bring Sparta back to the big time. I think this is more of a long-term save, so hopefully one of you guys will get involved with it. And now we're going to move on to our next team. So the next team we're going to be looking at is the most obvious team in the list, and that is Borussia Dortmund. Now, I know a few of you are thinking like, well, obviously Dortmund would be a good team to manage, but the reason I'm talking about them today is just I'm really excited about the amount of young talent they've got coming through. It's a football manager player's dream, really. You've got the likes of Haaland, Sancho, who are already key members of your team, Bellingham and Reina, who are younger players looking to break into the first team, alongside some of the older statesmen, like your Marco Reus's and your Matt Hummels. And I think this will be more of a short-term save with the aim of winning the Champions League. Obviously, you know they're going to have good facilities. They've got a big stadium with a great fan base. Everything is set up here really nicely for you to go on and challenge Europe's elite and become the best team in Europe, basically. So if you're looking for a fun short-term save that won't require too much effort and will still be a lot of fun, I think Dortmund will be that save. Before we get into this third team, guys, I would just like to say that I will probably be managing some of these teams myself on my own personal channel, which you can find in the description. We've recently reached 200 subscribers around there, and I'm really happy with the way things are progressing. We're looking to play as Chelsea in the beta and then go to a club that's not as highly regarded for a more longer term save afterwards, and one of the teams that I'm looking at is the team we can see here, Le Havre. Now this is a team in the French League 2. Now they are probably one of the big hitters in the second league in France. It's not going to be the hardest job to get them promoted, but the reason I've picked them is I think it's that old-time challenge of having to challenge PSG. Le Havre are known for having a great youth setup. I mean, if you look here, they have great youth facilities. Their academy coaching and youth recruitment aren't really shown to be that good in this Football Manager. They could be better in the next one. But with great training facilities too, they've got everything they need to be the best team in League 2 at least. And then your job will be to take them to the next level, bring them up into League 1, and then eventually, if you can, to challenge PSG, become the top dogs in France, and then obviously you could push it further and go for Champions League glory. But I think if you can topple PSG with Le Havre or another low-down French club like Paris FC, then you've done a really good job, because obviously PSG in Football Manager have that spending power. We know how it is. You have a good young player. Before you can even sign him, he's already at PSG somehow. So they might be going out and signing all the good young players, but can you bring through some young players of your own at Le Havre? They're a club that have been around forever in France. They once came third in Ligue 1 in the 50s, but that's about it. So again, if you're looking for a more long-term save, starting down with a lowly club, Le Havre could be the one for you, and I think they'd be a really good choice too. Now going to my favourite team and my favourite potential save on the list, it's the Puskas Akademia, aka the Puskas Academy, named after one of the first global superstars in football, the best player Hungary's ever produced, and that is Ferenc Puskas. In his name, an academy was founded in 2005, as you can see here, with the hope of producing Hungary's next superstar. You can see they do have good youth facilities, excellent youth recruitment, and then you guys can get their coaching up and try and become the top dogs in Hungary with an academy team based around these young players. I mean, they don't have the biggest stadium, but that's going to be your job to upgrade it all. Now, the reason that I've chose this team is obviously you want to take over Hungary, and if you can challenge in Europe, then brilliant. But I think with this youth recruitment kind of feel to the save, you could very much go for a nation rebuild save, where you produce some of Hungary's best players, which will eventually go into the Hungary national team, hopefully boost their national ranking. And as you start to perform better across Europe, then the other teams will get some more money in the league, start buying new players, and it all builds and builds, and you can eventually build Hungary up to the point where maybe you could manage them, and in that team will be all of your players from the Puskas Academy. And then to try and win the World Cup with Hungary, it will be a long, long save, but I think these kind of saves are the things that as Football Manager players love. This is definitely not a save for the faint-hearted, but I feel like it could be a brilliant save to do, and I'm really leaning towards doing this myself. We're over in Italy now, and we're looking at Spezia. I was going to try and say that in an Italian accent, but I've decided for your guys' sake, I really won't. So you can see here that they are in Serie B on this Football Manager. That isn't the case anymore. The reason I've chose Spezia is they're a team with a long history, but they did go bankrupt in the early 2000s. However, they've worked their way back up the leagues, and just this season, so the first time will be in FM21, they've got promoted to Serie A now. They are definitely minnows in the Serie A. They don't have great facilities, they don't have great players. I mean, you can see an idea of what their facilities could look like on the next FM here. Nothing above adequate or average, so they're really not looking that good to hold a position in the Serie A. So your job will be, can you keep Spezia up running on a very minimal budget, with a very minimal team, at a very minimal club? I mean, 10,000 capacity at a Serie A club. It's going to be tough, but then your challenge is, once you've kept them up, can you topple the Italian giants that are Juventus? And based on the way football managers have gone recently, you're going to have Atalanta, Lazio, Inter Milan, AC Milan all challenging you up there too, who all have a big chunk of money to spend, which you do not. I think if you're a fan of Italian teams, Spezia could be the one for you this year. I know there is a lot of nostalgia surrounding Italian teams from that like Italia 90 kind of time, so why not give Spezia a go, try and keep them up, and try and become one of the most famous names in Italian football. It's going to take a miracle, but that's your guys' job. That's what Football Manager is all about, making miracles happen. We're looking at a fallen giant of Germany now, Hamburg. They're in the Bundesliga too, that'll be the case for FM21 too. But this isn't just any old German club. Hamburg have won the Champions League before, they've won the Cup Winners' Cup before, they've won 6 Bundesliga titles but now find themselves stuck in Bundesliga 2. You can see here they're big fish in a small pond. They've got 57,000 capacity stadium. I haven't looked at this before, but you can already tell their facilities are going to be good, yeah. Superb training facilities, great youth facilities, and I think this will be a good save to start like a German youth recruitment save with. Your job will be to develop and buy some of the best German youngsters, promote them into your first team, and then eventually work your way back up the leagues, and then eventually topple Bayern Munich and reclaim your spot on the throne in the Bundesliga after all this time. Now you can see they're in the second division of the Bundesliga but have a 3.5-star reputation. So they are a massive club. This is going to be a save that so many of you guys do. To be playing exciting attacking football with a team of German youngsters, what more could you want? I think Hamburg is a fallen giant save, reminds me of the old Leeds saves that people used to do. Obviously they are in the Premier League now, but when they used to be in the Championship, that was a save that everyone did, and I think Hamburg will be the similar thing. So I'm sure some of you guys will be managing them too. On to the final team now, and this might cause some controversy. I know a lot of people aren't fans of the MLS, but I think Inter Miami represent a really fun save to do for a couple of years. For me, I've never managed in the MLS, and I know that the MLS runs very differently to other leagues. So that could be interesting in itself, but the reason we've chosen Inter Miami is obviously they are famous for being the team owned by David Beckham. Obviously, after his experience at LA Galaxy, he's obviously decided that he wants to buy an MLS franchise for himself, and he's not just settling on being another MLS club. Inter Miami have the ambitions of being the best club in the USA. You've seen recently they've signed Gonzalo Higuain and Blaise Matuidi. They were only founded in 2018. If you look at their facilities too, great youth facilities, great training facilities. They've really invested some money here to become this like fancy, attractive Miami football club. So if you're ever going to do an MLS save, maybe only for a couple seasons, I think Inter Miami could be a lot of fun, blending in some older talent with some younger talent too. And if any of you guys do by chance want to get involved in that save, then I'd be really interested in hearing about it in the comments. But for today, that is going to be the last team that we look at. There is a plan to do another video after this, and if people are enjoying that one as well, then another one after that. We're going to give you plenty of ideas going forward into FM21. So if you did enjoy today's video, hit that like button, comment who you're going to manage in FM21 down below, and subscribe to FM Scout for all the best Football Manager content as we head into FM21. I thank you for watching. I have been Jake, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one, guys. Goodbye.